Okay, so today what we're going to do is going to be doing the setup and preparation for our activity. It takes a little while, so usually it takes one full class block, but that's because I keep getting interrupted. This should not take you quite as long, but I do still need for you to do it in the way that I'm asking. Okay, so we're going to be making babies. In order to make babies, though, you have to have two parent cells. And so when a human baby is made, they come from a very large cell called the egg, and then it combines with a very, very small cell called the sperm. And when the fertilization occurs and when they combine, you get an egg cell, a zygote. Okay, so the combination, so that first little cell that created you was a zygote. The reason this is important, and the reason I'm bringing this up, is because of the chromosome numbers. That's what we're going to be working on today, is creating a fake egg cell that has, 23 chromosomes in it, and a fake sperm cell that has 23 chromosomes in it, that when it comes together, it creates a combination of 46. Okay, so the baby, the ultimate in the end, the baby will have 46. But before the egg cell came the mom, and before and from the sperm cell came the dad. In mom, every single cell in her body has 46 chromosomes. In dad, every single cell in his body has 46 chromosomes. So in order for mom to make an egg cell that has half, and dad to make a sperm cell that has half, they have to go through the process called meiosis. Okay, so meiosis is basically what we are going to be doing in order to be doing fertilization. So this is fertilization. All right, and then in fertilization we get our diploid organism. So this is a diploid because it has double. Okay, this is also a diploid cell. So mom's and dad's body cells are diploid, but their egg and sperm cell are haploid. So that would be N. So for humans, our diploid number is 46. So our 2N equals 46. And then our haploid number, our N, is half of that, 23. Okay, so over here, this zygote would be all the DNA is present, so we call him diploid. And 2N. Okay, and from there, he'll do mitosis. And he'll divide and divide and divide and divide and divide and divide. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating the diploid for mom and the diploid for dad, because I have to teach you how the body determines which 23 go into the egg. So before you can go and make the 23, you have to know what the 46 are. Same thing with dad. Before you can create the sperm cell with 23 chromosomes, we have to have his 46. Okay, so let's see, let me put this on the black background. All right, on Google Classroom, I gave you some sheets to either print out or draw. The mom sheet has 23 boxes, so it's 4 columns and 6 rows. And then you're going to do one for dad as well. And then there's a third one for the baby, but we're not going to mess with that yet. Okay, you can see my little baby under there. All right, so I need you to have 2 colors. I want you to write everything for mom in red or pink, something like that, so that we can separate male and female chromosomes. And then dad, I want it to be in blue or purple or black, so that you have 2 different colors. Now, I'm going to refer to it as red and blue, so that's what's going to happen the whole time. Now, if you're a girl, you put your name on the mom line. If you're a boy, you put your name on the dad line. Then you get to choose whoever you want on this whole earth to be the other person. So If you're the mom, the dad can be whoever you want it to be, and you write his name right there. If you're the dad, the mom can be whoever you want it to be, and you write her name right there. Okay. Now we're going to have to fill in these boxes and create a genetic profile for them. But that's how we're going to do it. Okay. So we're going to start with mom. It doesn't matter, but we're going to use our red pen. Okay. And in these boxes, each box, there's 23 of them, represents a chromosome. Okay. So, or a pair of chromosomes. So mom's going to have 23 pairs. So when it's all said and done, that's kind of what that looks like. And then the same thing with dad. Dad has 23 boxes, 23 pairs. Now, I'm going to have you do some stuff that is actually true, real genetics. And then some of it, I've kind of made it up to make it a little more understandable. But I'm going to ask you to do a lot of random things. And so when I want things done random, I want you to flip a coin. All right, because flipping a coin takes away you choosing. All right, so somewhere on your paper, when you flip a coin, you get two sides. You get head side and you have tail side. All right, so the whole way through, this is kind of our rule, okay? So we're going to be writing letters in the box, and I'll explain what the letters mean, but they are going to represent different traits. Okay, and there's a lot of variety of traits, but we're going to go the simple route, and we're going to do dominant traits and recessive traits. Okay, and so when it lands on heads, this is going to determine that you have a dominant trait for whatever that letter is that I'm talking about, and you're going to write a capital letter. Right, and I'll explain what all this means, but heads is capital letters, and they represent dominant alleles. Okay, so an allele is the actual single gene that you give to your offspring. All right, tails is going to represent recessive. Okay, and recessive alleles are the opposite. They are going to be written by a lowercase letter. All right, and that's what I need you to remember. So you're going to be flipping coins here in a minute, and depending on the letter that I tell you to do, so if I say, okay, we're working with the letter A, if you flip your coin and it lands on heads, in the box that I tell you to, you would write a capital A. But if you flip the coin and it lands on tails, you would write a lowercase a. And that's just the rule, and that's how we're going to do it. If we're working with the letter B, it's a big B for heads, a little b for tails. If we're working for E, big E for heads, little e for tails, okay? All the way through. So that's how this is going to work when we're flipping coins. And the coin flip, I promise you, is super important. There's also an app on your phone, I think, or something or something you probably go to online, and it flips a coin for you. So you just hit a button and it says heads or tails or heads or tails. I need all of this to be random, because then you can't blame yourself for how ugly your baby turns out, okay? Some of you can blame yourself, but that's a different story. All right, so here we go. So mom, in box number 1, I want everybody, so if you're not the mom, you're still going to flip for the mom. So whoever you decided was your mom, this is her page, and this is going to be her genetic profile. Okay, right now it's going to be a bunch of letters and numbers, and then tomorrow I will tell you what all the letters and numbers mean. We'll find out what she looks like, how she acts, how smart she is, how tall she is, and those kind of things. And then we're going to, pass those traits on to the baby. Okay, so in box number 1, do not write this large, because we're going to be writing a lot of stuff in this box. So write it starting at the top beside number 1 so that you have space to write other stuff underneath. So in box number 1, I want you to flip a coin, and we're going to work with the letter A. Okay, so we're going to start right out the gate with the letter A. Flip a coin, heads, you write a capital A, and tails, you write a lowercase a. Okay? All right, so I got the little app, and I flipped it, and it said dominant, so I wrote a big A. All right, and then I want you to do it one more time, because mom has a pair of alleles, because she has 2 chromosomes in every box. So mom doesn't just have one allele for this trait, she has two alleles. So flip the coin again, and you can either get two big A's, two little A's, or a big A and a little A. It doesn't matter what order you put it in, okay? So let me do my little app. Okay, mine said little a, right? So you should either have this or this or that, something like that. So a combination of the three, okay? So this is going back to regular bio. If you have a big dominant and a little recessive, you're heterozygous for the trait. If you have two dominant alleles, you're homozygous for the trait. And if you have two recessive alleles, you're homozygous for the trait. But the difference is this is homozygous dominant and this is homozygous recessive. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to go through all the way to 23, and in every single box, flip your coin and randomly give your mother her genetic profile for the letter A. Okay, so like all the way through, I'm gonna write the letter A so that we know every box has to have two A's in it. All right, you can pause the video if you want. Do this. Okay, everything all the way to 23. Nothing in the last box because we don't have 24 pairs of chromosomes. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you've already done that and you paused when you came back. Now, go to Dad's sheet. Grab your blue marker and do the exact same thing. Dad is going to get two A's in every box, okay, all the way through, okay, and then come back. Okay, so I'm assuming you're back and you've gone through and you've given Dad two A's and Mom has two A's in every box. And there's all kind of combinations you could have, little A's, big A's, whatever. Needs to be very, very random. Okay, so Mom in red, Dad in blue. Okay, so now we're going to do another letter. All right, so I'm going back to Mom, so I'm going to give him a red pen. Okay, in box 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to do the same thing as you did with the letter A, except you're going to use the letter E. So you're going to flip twice for box 1. So you could either have big E, little e, or little e. Okay, so, and then this one could be written little and then big. Doesn't matter. Okay, so box 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to flip for the letter E. All right, go ahead and pause it. All right, go to Dad's sheet, grab your blue pen. Same deal. You're going to flip for the letter E in box 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, pause the video and do that. All right, you're back. New letter. All right, now back on Mom's sheet. I'm gonna grab my red pen, and for box 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, now you're gonna do it with the letter D. Okay, so 2 D's in each box for Mom, and then you go up here, and then Dad is the same way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the letter D. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, pause the video and go do that. All right, so now you're back. All right, so Mom, sorry. We're going to go to box 11. In box 11, 12, and 13, we're going to do the letter R. Okay, so you'll flip twice and write 2 R's, flip twice and write 2 R's, and flip twice and write 2 R's. Then you'll go over to Dad, 11, 12, and 13, R's in his boxes. So far there should be 2 A's and 2 R's in this box, and 2 A's and 2 R's and 2 A's and 2 R's. All right. Next, for Mom's sheet, 14, 15, and 16, we're going to flip twice. And we're going to use the letter H. And we're going to do the same thing for Dad. So pause the video and flip for Mom and Dad for the letter H, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, now you're back. We're going to do box, we're on Mom. I got my red pen. For 17, 18, and 19, we're going to do the letter G. Okay, so 2 G's here, 2 G's here, 2 G's here. And then also on Dad's sheet, 17, 18, 19, G, G, and G. Okay? All right, pause and go do that and then come back. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some stuff with some numbers. All right? So this is going to be a little bit different. So I'll do it with both sheets so that you can follow with me. So let's do Mom first. Grab your red pen. All right, so go all the way to the bottom corner box. And in that box, I want you to pick a number between 1 and 6. And you can use 1 and you can use 6. So you either write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And just write it normal size. All right, then go to box 200 and put a number between 1 and 1. Oh, excuse me, this is box 21. I don't know where 200 came from. All right, so in box 21, you write a number between 1 and 100. Okay. Then go to box number 14. In box number 14, write a number between 1 and 50. Okay. And don't repeat a number. So if you've already used it, don't use it again. So whatever used here and here, don't use in this box. Okay. And then the last box, no repeating, a number between 1 and 50. Okay. We're going to go through, do the same thing to Mom's sheet. Dad's sheet. Here, last box, anything between 1 and 6. Box 21, 1 through 100. No repeats. And don't use the same thing Mom has. 14, 1 through 50, and 11, 1 through 50. Okay, so that's 4 numbers, and this one is 4 numbers. So you need to make sure you don't use any of the numbers that you already used. Okay. Okay, so almost done with setting all that up. All right, so the last thing is I want you to go to Mom's page, and I want you to go to the 23rd box, okay? And then I'll slide up, and we'll have Dad's 23rd box right there. So Mom in red and Dad in blue, okay? So Mom is a female, and that is not, there's no discussing that. Scientifically, you're either male or female, okay? So this has nothing to do with psychology. This is all physiology. So if you are a female, you are born with 2 X chromosomes, okay? If you're not, then we have other kind of issues going on, which we'll talk about in genetics. And if you don't have this scenario, you can't have babies, all right? Down here, if you are a male in your 23rd box, you have to write the letters XY, okay? So you should already have 2 A's in this box, whatever it is, and then an XY, and then in this red, and then up here, you should have 2 A's and then XX for Mom. Mom, you are done on this page, so we don't do anything else for Mom. But for Dad, you're going to flip a coin. And on his Y chromosome only, so you flip a coin. All right, so heads, you're going to put a little plus, like exponent on the Y. And tails, you're going to put a little minus exponent. So either the Dad's Y has a plus or a minus on it. All right, so just to go back and make sure that you have all the right stuff, In box number 1, you should have 2 A's and 2 E's. Box number 2, 2 A's and 2 E's. Okay? Any combination. 3 should have 2 A's and 2 E's. 4, 2 A's, 2 E's. 5, 2 A's, 2 E's. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, you should have 2 A's and 2 D's. So there's 2 of these bad boys, all right? In box 11, you're going to have 2 A's, 2 R's, and then a number between 1 and 50. 12, you're going to have 2 A's, 2 R's. 13, 2 A's and 2 R's. Y'all make sure your dominant and recessive, it's obviously capital or lowercase. 14, 2 A's, 2 H's, and then a number between 1 and 50. 15, 2 A's, 2 H's. 16, 2 A's, 2 H's. 17, 18, and 19, 2 A's and 2 G's. 20, you got 2 A's, so it should be big A something, or AA something. 21, 2 A's, and then a number between 1 and 100. 22, 2 A's. 23, 2 A's, and then if you're the mom, 2 X's, and then in this last box, a number between 1 and 6. All right, Dad's going to be the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 A's and 2 E's. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 A's and 2 D's. 11, 2 A's and 2 R's, but a number between 1 and 50. Completely different from any of the numbers you've written. 12 and 13 would have 2 R's and 2 A's. 14, 15, and 16 have 2 A's and 2 H's, but box 14 has a number between 1 and 50 that you have not used yet. All right, 17, 18, 19, 2 A's and 2 G's. 20, just 2 A's. 21, 2 A's, and then a number between 1 and 100. 22, just 2 A's. And then 23, 2 A's, and then for Dad, X and Y, and then your Y should either have a plus or a minus sign. And then in your last box, a number between 1 and 6. Okay? Now, once you're done with that, okay, you've set up your whole, like pretty much your whole profile. All right, so I'm just going to do this box real quick so it would be like, big A, little a, and I'll make this big R, big R. I might just save that for tomorrow. I'll leave that alone. Okay, so one little quick thing I need you to go back and do. Go back to all your numbers. This is my mistake, okay? Except this one. This one is done, okay? You don't have to do what I'm about to tell you to do, okay? So in box 21, you picked a number between 1 and 100. I need you to pick a second number. I totally forgot that we got to have 2 sets of numbers because one of the numbers she got from her mom and one she got from her dad. So pick 2 different numbers for the 21st box. Both of them need to be between 1 and 100. Then go up to 14. Pick 2 different numbers. Both of them need to be between 1 and 50. And then box 11, 2 different numbers. Both of them need to be between 1 and 50. And then we're going to go over here. And we're going to do the same thing for Dad. This one's good. We only need 1 number there. Here, between 1 and 100, 2 different numbers. Here, between 1 and 50, 2 different numbers. And then here, between 1 and 50, 2 different numbers. Okay? So now you should have a very complete sheet. And then this would be Dad's genetic profile. Okay? And then tomorrow, we will take those letters, we'll combine them, we'll put them together, we'll make our baby, and then we'll figure out what our baby looks like. Okay?